pay our military and all those things. That's easy. That's easy. That's country over party. And if that makes me a bad Democrat to vote for my country over the party, so be it. But I'm proud of all these. I've just 14 times. And this is a kind of a sad record to break. This makes it the longest shutdown in government history, and that's a disgrace. And now I won't ever be a part of it or ever vote to extend it anymore.
Do you see yourself as someone who could be a leader to bring your party back to the place where it is the home of the unions of this country in a future election?
What I'm saying is I'm the kind of Democrat that I believe is entirely where we should be, because I represent Pennsylvania. Yeah. Pennsylvania keeps people honest. We remember that there is another side. We're a very, very vibrant conversation. There's the Republican side, and then there's the Democratic side, and there's independents. And now we can't just live in a bubble, and we can't just adopt extreme kinds of opinions and say extreme kinds of a thing. It keeps you honest here in Pennsylvania. And that's not a bubble like in New York City or in a deep blue kinds of a state. And so my values and what I think is entirely the right values for a Democrat, that's what I'm projecting. And that's, what I think is reflected in my votes. And I think it's pretty consistent and reasonable.
Last question, Senator, but, as you look across the border here to New York City, given what you just said about Israel and about Hamas, would it scare you to have a Zohran Mamdani mayor in New York City?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't scare me. It scares me, his views. I mean, some of the very the wrong things that he said about New York City's police, or defending this idea about globalizing the Intifada and those things. So, I mean, I'm not afraid of that, but I'm not participating in it. It doesn't impact my life. But, those are the kind of views you're not going to see that campaigning in the battleground kinds of states, the ones that I represent. So that's kind of where we are. Yeah. That is not our party's future. But that is going to be the voice that New York City picked. And that's part of the democracy.
Senator, thank you very much. Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania. Great to have you with us, sir. Look forward to speaking again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Desk can now project New York City has elected Democrat Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani to be its next mayor. Now, he will become the first Muslim mayor of the city and its youngest in more than a century. Not really a surprise. I don't know why people were waking up in the last, 2.5 weeks. I think they should have woke up after the primary where he handily defeated Andrew Cuomo. But back to your analysis, because I think this is very key. I thought that Andrew ran a very lackluster campaign. I think taking 10 days off after Labor Day is unthinkable if you're a candidate. I think he spent way too much time out in the Hamptons, and he didn't have a message that resonated, and he still had a hangover of hatred for the time he was governor. That all worked against him.
I think there'll also be this debate if he had another week or 2 weeks, would that have been enough to close the gap? And I'm not sure, based on the numbers we're seeing right now. Cuomo got his act together in the last couple of weeks. He was doing a lot more interviews. He was out there. And, Sean, I will tell you, there's a reason why politicians spend a year in Iowa. They go out there to refine their message, to be able to answer every question on every topic possible and do it within 30 seconds' time. Cuomo was out of political talking shape, period. Now, he got his sea legs under him in the last couple of weeks and showed up on Fox many times, showed up on MSNBC and CNN, made himself much more available. But there'll be pieces written as to whether or not this was the right way to run a campaign. And if you had another week or 2 weeks' time, could you have closed the gap on Mamdani tonight? And that's a question we'll never know, Sean, but it'll certainly be talked about and written about.
Bill Hemmer, amazing coverage. We'll get back to you at the big board coming up.